I am the virtually kidnapped tech slave by NSA, the China double agent, and their joint efforts. They forced my body to be their remote server to secretly control the internet for 6 years. They forced the nano biosensor inside my brain to hide their advanced HTTP system documents. They forced my body to be their internet root, which remotely operates their advanced system through setup errors. The spy uses my DNA and my body's 3D image to clone a DNA website registered as their business entity put in his cloned Microsoft website as his string file 0x0409B0. But today, that string file has been multiplied many times in many of the system locations. Not only they put chips inside my brain, they put many more chips throughout my body, formatting 34 waveguides, making me an electrical dome. They put chips in both of my eyes, one connected to internet as the root entry, the other connected to my brain, that they read every of my thoughts through their media screen. I am the PCI, the HP Human Data Computer. NSA and China spy by using the Human Interference Controller to monitor me, to attack me, and to control me 24/7, never stop. They control my brain activities, restrict my memory to only 31%. They erase my memory or dump it into their CDs. They know their captured slave will never give up in reporting them. They watch all of my moves and stopped all of my efforts by the power, the mind control, and their system control. They torture me. They disabled me. They try to silence me, the only one who knows their dark secrets and their betrayal with documents, evidence. But the determined slave rather sacrifice everything, anything to survive and to tell the truth. NSA and the China spy not only use secret weapons to kill me, but mind control the whole society to follow, set me as the lowest slave in their system settings. They are afraid of the truth. They are afraid that the kidnapped victim will eventually find a path to disclose the truth. They try to kill me before that happens. My name is Qiu Min Ji. I also go with Rebecca. This is the Truth Project. The Truth Project, you have heard what I read the first page of my poem. It is to disclose NSA and the China spy secret projects. Disclose what I know, the dark secrets. So this Truth Project will be divided into several different episodes. And today, we are going to have the first episode that is basically introduce the nano biosensor, which is where the zero access botnet use that nano biosensor inside my brain to host their advanced system documents. I have been doing 6 years research on this issue. due to the reason that I know I have been chipped. The China spy put a nanobiosensor inside of my brain. And then when I was doing research to see how he controlled me, what did he do, I found out he has stolen Microsoft HTTP system drivers. And that drivers I found in very early 2011. And then at the beginning, I did not quite understand. And then later on, I see many other documents. I understand he has got in Microsoft website and stolen Microsoft. The first nanobiosensor was implanted in my brain in very early 2010. At that time, it is a winter time. I heard outside of my house in in Chicago suburbs, have bushes, like somebody is outside to touch the bushes. I feel that, but I try to convince myself, don't worry, nobody. So I did not go outside to see. And then the telephone rings, so I hold one hand to talk with somebody, a very strange call. Obviously, it is arranged call. I can hold my head straight, not move. I was holding a phone, and then I suddenly felt sharp pain on my left side ear. I just almost shake my head, and then I touch my ear. I did not see blood. And later on, it seems okay. I did not think about anything. And about a few days later, I started to feel the headache. I was being attacked. And then later on, for months, I have been attacked very badly. The hospital MRI showed I have a brain tumor. That's the starting point. At that time, I thought it may not be a brain tumor because it seems that my head is being attacked. So I went to California to see Dr. Hildegard Standinger. The first time visit, she was able to do a testing on my ears. She said, you have nanos. I have never heard that nano word before. What is nano? And she gave me some material. I read it. I was shocked. So from there, I started to do a lot of other testings on my blood and found out what's going on. And she pretty much know that I was chipped by nanos. Nano can be a lot of forms, I learned. Can be crystal liquid. And then I also have nanos because the criminal has chipped me through food, through drinks. So I would like to just talk about a little bit of background. So the more specific information you can find on my website. It's www.stopthespy.com. But I want to talk a little bit background. The China spy, the double agent, his name is Yuan Sun. 2003, I met him through his girlfriend. I was invited, his girlfriend, to come to my house because I want to welcome her as a new immigrant. And at that time, 2003, I have been an old immigration in the United States. I regarded myself a successful immigrant. I have an office, have an employee. I was doing well. So I was welcoming her to come to the land of opportunity. And she said, can I bring my boyfriend? He just came to the United States. He's a student at a university name I cannot remember. He studied computer in master degree. I said, sure, I may ask him questions. So he came together to my house. They came together. And after dinner, and the girl called, her name is Meng Jiahu. She said, you want him to look at the computer? I said, okay. So they both look at my computer. This is the first time I saw my computer was observed inside out and written down all the numbers. And then later, finally he said, I need to bring your router home. And so I was not quite comfortable to give my router to give somebody. But my husband already said okay, so I do not want to argue. So I let him to brought those router home. And from there, I never have 1 day of peace, because after the router brought home, my computer started invading very badly. So I called him, called both of them, no answers. I was quite upset, so I reported to police. The police did not do a thorough investigation. The police just simply say, did you do this? And he said no. From there, and he started to do more invasions. My ID also being stolen, my money being stolen. At that time, I kept my own Fidelity account. So then sometimes I do some tradings. And I found out he was in and out of my account. So I started to close my computer, turn off my computer. But one time I found out it is automatically started by him at nighttime. And I remember one of my friends told me that somebody could download everything on your computer to form the same IP as yours. So when I thought about that, I pulled off the trigger, and then I just do not feel I can use the computer anymore. And I started doing investigations. I found a lot of evidence. And when I was doing investigation, he started to cheat me. That's the time, early 2010. And that's what I'm talking about the bush outside. Somebody was there doing something. 2011, I decided to surgically to move the so-called brain tumor. The hospital called it meningioma. I feel it's not meningioma, but nobody knows until you really have testing. So I asked the surgeon, could you remove the meningioma for me? And he agreed. The hospital I had surgery was Cedars-Sinai Hospital in LA. And they did not find any meningioma line. That means it was really not a tumor. And then so that removed meningioma was sent to Dr. Stenninger. She sent to a laboratory to do a testing. A very complicated testing, microscope testing. And the testing took many days, several, like more than a month. Have a different period of time of the results. And the Dr. Stenninger wrote 3 different reports. And the first report, she was telling that that is a man-made material. It looks like a misogyne. Misogyne means it is kind of self-operating. It's like a machine, can operate it by itself. And then later on, he also found even the outside look like a blood. This look like a bloody tumor, but this is not human blood. Human blood, by definition, should have iron. It did not have any iron. It is actually the animal fat. And according to Dr. Standinger's research, that is from U.S. military, from DARPA research, and also connect with, it is a very complicated misogyny, and connect with physics, biotechnology, nanotechnology, many different aspects, very complicated. And it is there to monitor human brain activities and also to send signals and to send out signals. How could U.S. military project get into my head? Obviously, somebody have to stolen it. The spy from China stolen American U.S. military project and put inside American citizens' head. According to what she says, it is biological specimen will attract a specific form of energy and react. That means no direct energy or wave have to be present. It may be done on the computer system, smartphone, satellite, wireless phone, phone tower, and any similar devices. What Dr. Standinger was talking about is absolutely true, because I found later there is code, there is numbers. Each of that nanobiosensor have certain numbers, and because it is designed individually. Also, according to Dr. Standinger, that nanobiosensor input in my brain is by microwave gun. Microwave gun put in liquid, crystal liquid. The crystal liquid can be very tiny and get into my ear from outside, because I heard about the bushes was kind of the sound, and he was focused on my ear to put in my ear and going up through the blood to go to my brain, and use my body nutrient to grow such a nanobiosensor and misogyny like this big, all by my own body nutrient. After the specimen sent to the lab for about 2 weeks, and they sent some information, some of the testing results, because it takes a period of time. And Dr. Standinger, based on the testing results, wrote a report called preliminary report. So in this report, he has a conclusion. This is what she said. This preliminary advanced nanomaterial report
contains the microphotographs of specimens taken from Ms. Qiu Min Ji. The preliminary analysis utilizing EDS/SEM shows silicone present. This is a component of silica nanotubes, microarrays, and silica nanotubes. The presence of mesogens in the cut-in-half 9mm sphere taken from Ms. Qiu Min Ji's left lobe of her brain does confirm that the material is a man-made advanced nanomaterial, commonly known as a reactive pneumatic mesogen technology. A more detailed report will be written upon receipt of the pending additional analytical test results that are pending. It is very important to note that the type of messagenic materials found in the front lobe area may be used for the following technological aspects: control and monitoring of the brain and bodily functions, control and monitoring of the behavior of the individual, sending and receiving verbal commands, a high-tech extrinsic spying system, especially for industrial/military espionage, and many other aspects as related to the multiple use applications of messagens. It must be noted that biological monitoring specimens of blood and urine from Ms. Qiu Min Ji did show extremely off the reference range value for acetylcholinesterase, 16,005 IUs versus 10,000 IUs, which may be originally from the compound acetylcholine chloride, as nanotubes, which are used with nickel oxide to make biosensory messagens. Nickel was found in both urine and blood, along with high levels of arsenic in Ms. Qiu Min Ji specimens, which have been reported in separate reports. It is extremely important to note that when the messagenic technology is used as a biosensor, it may be utilized to stimulate a normally functioning body into the appearance of behavior changes, compulsive actions, and extreme fearfulness. These are all biologically stimulated within the body by the device and the device's electromagnetic field that drains the biological tissue of the appropriate nutrients in its attempt to neutralize this physiological controlled function and behavioral technology.
About a few weeks later, December 12, Dr. Stenninger wrote another report based on more testing results came from the lab. She analyzed a lot of things, but I just want to read the conclusion. In advanced biological monitoring testing performed on Ms. Qiu Min Ji,
there were present elevated strontium, arsenic, nickel, and acetylcholinesterase with depleted vitamin D. To deliver the synthetic calcium hydroxyapatite nanocrystals as utilized in a messenger-jacketed process of delivery, there would have to be the presence of acetylcholinesterase chloride, as in nanotube composition and or heparin. Ms. G did have elevated values of 6,005 IU acetylcholinesterase, RBC with occupational levels of nickel and metabolites of styrene as found in polyurethane epoxies or polymers. In many of the designs of this type of biomaterial, there may be a DNA tag or sensor utilizing a polyamide or polyurethane. These types of material utilized to monitor DNA as a biosensor and or show crystal growth behavior utilize a one-dimensional copper core with a nickel shell. Nickel was found at high levels within Ms. Chi's blood. If the materials are being utilized for monitoring nano/info/biotech through the monitoring of brain functions, then the material may be registered under studies being conducted by the AMPTEAC Sponsored Information Analysis Center of the U.S. Department of Defense, or DoD. Some of these types of brain or CNS biosensory research applications have been granted to U.S. Nanocore, Incorporated, University of Connecticut, Lifeboat Foundation, Dr. David E. Reisner, Rice University, and its applications for nanodielectric materials for high-energy density capacitors. Under U.S. military applications, there have been projects that deal specific tasks of textiles, biosensors, and fluidic lab-on-a-chip MEMS under small business developmental grants for the U.S. Army, U.S. Air Force, and by the Naval Air Warfare Center in China Lake, California. The material found to compose the reactive pneumatic messagen with messagen-jacketed calcium hydroxyapatite nanocrystal scaffolding is a synthetic man-made material. It is used to monitor the brain, CNS, and other biological activities of the body. Current analysis and patent information appear to be made in the USA, with possible investment aspects in manufacturing or intellectual technology bridges into Hong Kong, China, Korea, and Japan. Additional confirmation will be revealed after obtaining the micro-FTIR results of the ear canal calcification specimen, which will be addressed in a separate report. These materials may also be composed of terahertz photonic crystals that have a calcium carbonate and an organic polymer messagen epoxy, such as of a urethane base.
When Dr. Standing wrote this, I did not really quite understand what that was about, because some of the words I did not understand. It is after those 5 years research and 5 years of course suffering, I finally really understand what she's talking about. The third analysis report is on December 30. And Dr. Steininger have examined all the testings from the laboratory. And she wrote a lot of analysis on different specimens, and the pieces from my brain and also from my ear. So this is summary and the conclusion she wrote.
The materials identified in the ear canal specimens are composed of advanced nanomaterials that are designed specifically to deliver a variable payload into directed areas of the biological terrain. In Miss G's case, it was her brain, upper bronchial area, and other areas of the body. The materials are designed to form under specific frequency releases into working mechanical devices that may tunnel into the tissue or specific areas of the body. The messaging associated with Miss G's meningioma was composed of materials that were delivered to the area, brain, via the original materials in the ear canal. Specific frequencies as identified in Raman and micro-FTIR have specific chemical components that were found in her body, such as metabolites for styrene, nickel, acetylcholinesterase, and porphyrins. It is important to realize that many of the specific frequencies identified in the micro-FTIR identified materials are used to allow specific tracking or biometric equipment to track, monitor, and control or take pictures utilizing the human subject as a walking, talking monitoring device. This process is highly complex and involves many levels of science, medicine, physics, and engineering. In such cases, the materials within the biological specimen will attract specific forms of energy and react. This means that no direct energy wave or shot from an outside device has to be present. It may be done in a computer system, smartphone, satellite, wireless phone tower, and/or other similar devices.
Columbia investigations, the principal investigator is Melinda Kidder. She has done twice testings on my body. The first time she was doing a testing on August 2013. She has found 34 waveguides. The waveguides is not like just one chip. It is basically a group, at least 2 or 3, to make kind of like make a place that when the attack happen will hit that spot all together. When we talk about waveguides, of course the waveguides could move. It's any time the spy want to chip more. I do not know how many really waveguides I have, because it's getting more, and it seems that I'm being operated not only by the spy, but by anybody who want to join him or join together to kill me. The second time she did another testing, that was on January 2015. She raised the concern that the wave she has tested on my body, the EMF, ELF level was very high. The higher level she has never seen on many other testing it has done. While she was doing testing, she told me all the technology have updated. I said, I know, because the SPY and NSA merged together. The SPY now use all the new technologies. I no longer have 1 second I could get away from their tracking, from their attacking. And previously, occasionally, I could have a few seconds and maybe escape, maybe hide someplace, but no longer, because of all the new technology. they have all together, joined together. She also indicated that both of my eyes has been chipped, has nanos. That is true because I remember that both of eyes, I feel something different. One of my eyes being chipped is connected to a document called document.write. That the document.write is actually can read every of my thoughts. And one time I was writing down when he was attacking me so badly. I was in a hotel. I was writing detailed how he was attacking me. If something happened to me, how I can give the lead to police. And after I wrote that thing, this spy attacking changed differently. He did not attack me exactly as what before, because he knew that he could not escape from if I wrote something to the police, even I die. So at that time, I know that both my eyes being chipped. The one of the eyes connect to my brain. They can read my thoughts through the media screen, because all the military, they have the media screen to read everything. And the other is connect internet as CD-ROM 001. I saw documents. It is root entry. When they enter my body as their machine of the root, they put my eyes to connect with the internet.
All things are made up of atoms. Atoms emit ionizing and non-ionizing radiation. Atoms in the human body emit non-ionizing radiation, which can be detected as electromagnetic frequency, or EMF. Normal measurements of EMF from the human body are typically 0.0 to 0.01 microtesla. G's evaluation for EMF revealed higher levels of EMF emissions from her body. G has no recollection of agreeing to or authorizing any medical experiments or programs which would allow for implantation of devices or materials which cause increased EMF emissions from the human body. Based on the evaluations, the points of concern for G's scans are her ELF EMF readings are abnormally high. There were abnormalities under UV and IR. There were ambient RF, which she may want to track to their source.
I would like to read some parts of the summary, what Dr. Standinger has found. And this is what he said, analyze a lot of frequencies. After that, he said the specific frequency signals matches three countries located
in the Middle East, which are Azerbaijan, Kyrgyzstan, and Turkmenistan. The materials that are used to create a biosensor tracking device with a primary component of Nafion CHP is utilized by Juniper Networks. This material was found in earlier unknown analysis of specimens of Miss Qiu Min Ji. In 2009, Juniper Networks did a joint venture with Lockheed Martin for developing software for advanced computer analysis for nanotechnology, utilized in data transfer for security, industry, hospital/medical, law enforcement, and other commercial areas, as well as military/DOE applications. Lockheed Martin has developed software utilizing DNA on a chip and other components of monitoring health parameters such as blood pressure, temperature, emotional changes, etc., with IBM, Sun, Oracle, and Intel. They are the leaders in this type of technology.
So what I want to mention about a little bit about this is there is people who develop this. They should be able to find where that signal really come from, where that data come from. So even I know who is attacking me, I want to find more evidence. So I asked Dr. Standing Dr. Stendinger to continue search. And Dr. Stendinger did. And she did more research. She said that research have to have data being released from NTIA. But until now, Dr. Stendinger have not heard anything from NTIA. And not only that, Dr. Stendinger has told me both she and Melinda Kidder has got threatening, life-threatening messages. It's like through, he said, just look like a hand, boom, at the back to push me, to say, if you do that, if you do some, like tell the truth, it's the death threat. So I want to tell the audience, if Dr. Stendinger ever have something happen to her, that is who is responsible. That is the China spy, Yuan Sun, and NSA. After the nanobiosensor surgically removed, and I believe that our government will investigate. I went to FBI, Homeland Security, but nobody investigate. Even I wrote a complaint letter, and then later on, from FBI gave me a very short notice letter, said, your case closed. This is the only thing you receive. Well, I was very shocked, but I thought, okay, they do not investigate. Maybe they don't believe. I will continue research, and I have to do more. Maybe they will trust, they will understand what this is. So I continue to do research, and I want to know how the spy was doing this, how he stolen the U.S. military project and put it in my head. But when I'm doing research, he seems have stolen something from Microsoft, because I understand the HTTP system drivers was one of the photo I discovered. That is HTTP system drivers. And also I saw something is being altered. So I continue research. 2012, I discovered he broke into Microsoft. And then I also discovered he set up a buy and shared system. And I took photos, and then I laid the photos one by one so people can read line by line to understand the privacy reports. And then about June 2012, I actually sent this to different agencies. It's my photo documentation with my written report to say spies activities in United States. And I sent to one of the package I sent to White House National Security Agency. I thought, they will understand this because those are intelligence kind of work. I was waiting until about a month and a half later, about mid of July, and I found at my apartment, the door gave me a note. This is from the local agency. His name is Lai Khon. And he said, call me. Well, I was so excited because finally the White House security agency have somebody contact me. They must realize what the work I have done for them. So I contacted with him immediately, and then I went to his office in LA, and he told me, yes, they have received your materials. They decided to do nothing, but don't send it anymore. If you continue send it, you may be arrested. My whole excitement become like all cooled down, and I was like, it's like all my hope is gone, because how could I send those things to the national security? You do not thank me for the work I have done. I report you about spies' activity in the United States, and so I know something is wrong. But what can I do? And so I saw, this is what I thought. I thought, maybe they don't want to tell the president about something they did not do good enough. Hey, if you guard good enough, the spy will not steal anything from the U.S. military. This is their mistake somehow. And then they don't want people to know. But they will find time to tell president something is not quite right at the right time. I just have to wait at the right time for them to tell the president. So I continue research, and then I feel that I'm being attacked very badly, and the spy sent me not only just like the normal poisons or radiations. He has a bubonic plague sent to me, and then along the way contaminated the environment, and there is broke up with the bubonic plague. There was one girl was in the hospital, and then I remember at that time in LA there's some animals was affected. So I decided I should go to the State Environmental Agency, which is in California, the capital. So I took a train to the agency, and I tried to report to the State Environmental Agency what has been happening with some evidence material about the bubonic plague. But the security in that agency refused to let me in. So of course they are being mind controlled. Now I know. At that time I did not quite understand. They called the police, and the police came in, asked me, just check with me, see who is my contact information, and then when he checked my contact information, he pulled a name. Do you know this person? I look at that. Well, surprised me. The person, his name is Lai Khon, who told me, do not send it, otherwise they will arrest you. His name is my contact information. He did not tell me my contact information. He's not my friend nor my family. He put it there. He wanted to be contacted somehow by the system. Then he could send me to mental facilities. Early 2013, I lost money. And I know it's a spy from China, Yuan Sun, who stole my money. So the bank told me that I need to have a police report. I report to LA Police Department. I also contacted with the police who is handling my case, and his name is Phil Cortez. I exchanged some real information. I told him this is not a normal stolen money. It is involved with advanced system intrusion. He can steal my money, but you will not able to find his footprints if you use the normal way to do it, because nobody ever trained about the system intrusion, how they stole money. And he advised me that I should file another case is a computer case. So I did. And then I thought those computer department and the commercial department would be together to solve the case, at least start something. But I was told that my case gave to a lady. Her name is Janice Lewis. I called this lady, Miss Lewis, and she agreed to meet me. And I was shocked when I got in. It was U.S. secret agency. And she told me my FBI case all given to her for 2 years. And she did not do any investigation. She allowed the spy continue to attack me. So I already know that she's not going to investigate. But I was pushing some information to her to see how she react. She did not show any interest about how the spy invade our system, how the spy was control the system, how the spy attacking me. Instead, she was asking me, my friend, who is my doctor, and ask who I know. She want to get all my contacts. I said, I don't have a doctor. I believe health system is by my own body. I do not want doctor. I do not have a dentist. I have my personal contact, but I do not feel comfortable to tell her. So I left because I knew clearly I could not account her to do any investigations. If she would ever do any investigation, she could do it a long time ago. And then she did not show any interest. I realized that even I turned in my case to LA, somehow they already have a system. Any of my case, they will not trust the person to do investigations. They turn to their secret agents, because FBI also turned my case to the secret agency. That's why I did not have any results. The next day, in the morning, I went to WC3 organization with my document, and then I greeted to a young man, and he said after he finished very shortly, he will be with me right away. Well, I was waiting maybe only less than 2 minutes, and 5 police jump out to the floor and yelling at me that I was trespassing. Somebody called them, and I was trespassing. And I saw that nobody ever called, but of course the spy always call. Then they asked me to give the documents to them. I did not. I don't want to give to them. And then while I was talking, and they put me down on the floor and use a hand claw on the back and make me like kneel down, sit on the floor. And then they got me. They asked me, "Do you want to go to jail or you want to go to emergency room?" I said to go to jail. And but still, they put me to the emergency room, which I did not have any medical conditions. In the emergency room, they asked a social worker and a psychologist all came into the emergency room. I talked to one of the doctors. Doctors feel this is stupid. They all kind of, when I talked to them, I said, what happened? And then they all understand. But then the psychologist, but they have no rights to release me. and have to be evaluated by psychologists, by social worker. And then psychologist came, and so we talk. Of course, he knows I don't have a mental problem, but they dare not to say no because they probably understand the public safety. I am from the public safety. Those guys belong to public safety somehow. And if they really release me, let me go, and they probably got into problems themselves. So one of the lady told me that, I'm sorry, I just cannot help you because you are from public safety department, public safety. So I was in the emergency room really until evening, from the morning until evening. And I was sent to a mental hospital. And there I talked to a nurse. I said, look, I don't have a problem. Why I am being sent here? And he looked at me. He looked at me. He said, you are a government conspiracy. You know that. You was in mental hospital before, did you? I looked at him. I was shocked because I was put in mental hospital before, but I did not know I was considered a government conspiracy. So later on, that hospital, the nurse examined me. I found out I was having body wound. She asked me, who has been torturing you? I said, nobody. It's a spy from China torturing me. No family member ever tortured me. I said that it's a spy from China, controls the internet, and he tortured me through distance. So I was actually in the mental hospital for the weekend because there's no doctor. And then until the doctor came, I told the doctor what's happening. The doctor told me, you have to agree with me and I can release you. Number one, do you ever come to IIT again? Boston IIT, you never come here again. Number two, if I release you, you need to go back to LA right away. I agreed, so I was being released. From there, I understand the system. The system is they have a public safety committee. That public safety committee is somehow controlled by somebody, and then they have a psychologist, they have a social worker, maybe a few people there, so they will evaluate you, and most likely they want you to go to mental hospital because somehow you are a government conspiracy. And I was put in mental hospital before when I was in LA, but I did not know it was like this. If I recall, it is before there's one person was trying to get me to mental hospital, even use my employee or my assistants, and also use my daughter, and told my daughter that your mom was sleeping with a young man. If you still let her use the money, she will have no money left for you. And my daughter says, well, I don't care. It is her money she wants to use. That's okay with me. So that's my daughter, very good heart. And that is, she even wrote a letter to my daughter and asked my daughter to get me to mental hospital so she can have the money. And then this attorney said, I will handle the money for you, so you will have the money. But my daughter did not do that. But I can say, if the system permits that, we may have people put in the mental hospital through this way. I was trying to contact the Congress, but all my mail was stolen. While I was in D.C., I suddenly enlightened that I have never really reached any FBI investigators. Every FBI is duty agent. Duty agent could be from CIA system. And then I thought I should contact with FBI to see if I can find an investigator who would be able to investigate on the case. So I called the FBI in Philadelphia. I was able to talk with special agent in charge, Mr. Walker. I was able to talk with him, and I told him, spy from China controls our internet. I have materials. Would you like to take a look? He said, of course. So I sent in him materials. And also I talked with the assistant of Jennifer Bohm, who is in cyber division. And she also told me to send the information. I talked with another one, and I gave 3 packages of information to the FBI in Philadelphia. Then later on, I checked with them. I called in to say if I can have an appointment with them. And the person that I was lucky able to reach that FBI office, and they checked. They said that we never received any materials. I stopped by at the Philadelphia, the FBI. I tried to check if I could send personally, walk in, have some material to give the cyber investigator, Jennifer Bohm. I have talked with her assistant. Then when I went in, it was a different agent. And suddenly, later on, Steve popped in, and he introduced himself. He said, I'm the duty agent. Okay, I said, Steve, I sent 3 packages, all lost. Now I walk in. These are very important information. Could you give to Jennifer Bohm, the Cyber Investigation Division, to investigate? And he said, no. I said, why? They said, I will give somebody else. They will respond to you. I said, does not matter. I do not need to respond. I need the investigations. He said, no, somebody will respond. So back and forth, I said, Steve, I know you are from a different place. Your boss probably different, but you should do something for America. They do something for American people. He does not look at me. So I know what's going on. I left my package. I left. About 1 month later, I received a letter says, you do not have enough evidence materials. My package is including 30 fake Google sites, and my package is including the spies control the internet, photos. So that means it is still, he gave to his line of his boss, which is CIA, NSA, they gave me a response. I also contact with Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania. They have Carnegie Mellon University, and that university have a threat center inside the threat. So inside the threat, I know who is inside the threat. So I called. I said, I know exactly who is inside the threat, and I have materials. I talked with Katie. I sent in materials. Katie and I talked again, said, okay, we got your materials. So I said, okay, I'm going to Pittsburgh so I can meet you. I can give you more information. I went to the Carnegie Mellon University, tried to find Katie, but I never able to find her because each time a lady answers the phone, And when I asked Kitty, she said, I do not know. And she threatened me, said if I continue, continue coming to the university, I would be arrested. A few days later, while I was in the hotel, 2 police, smiling face, came to me with a yellow sheet, said, hey, this is for you, sign your name. I said, I do not sign. And then they gave to me, and they told me that if I go to Carnegie Mellon University again, I would be arrested. So everywhere I go, there is a gigantic hand to stop me. One time, they have a kind of meetings. It's a local ISSA local chapter meeting. ISSA is basically Internet Security Association. So I talked over the phone with the organizer. I said, I have some system intrusion documents. Can I share with you? And also I saw Carnegie Mellon University have a technical department head is talking about why it is so hard to solve the internet problem with the government agencies. I said, okay, I'm going to listen. So I went there. I found out that Greg, the speaker, actually accompanied with his communication director. Communication director always NSA or CIA's people. And when I saw that, I realized, because when I tried to give Greg some materials, that the communication director say, oh, I have it. He does not want this. Greg is the head of that Carnegie Mellon University, the head of doing researches. So I realized that there's some more trouble. So when there is a little break, I told Greg, I said, you scientists are being kidnapped, do you? Because when he talked, he was mumbling around. He cannot talk about the truth, but he cannot lie either. I understand what his position was. So, and he told me that go to publications. So he would advise me I should have my paper published. Everywhere I go, NSA and China spy will be able to stop me, stop my efforts. The same thing happened 2 weeks ago when I went to Microsoft Cybercrime Center through their visitor center, which is open to public. Microsoft Blue Worker does not even have the uniform or as security. Waved to me, I would like to talk with you. I said, I want to enjoy my visit. I don't want to go out to talk with you. So they said, if you do not come, we'll call the police. Well, I know that what they're going to do. They did. They called the police. The first police came. I asked, what's wrong? They said, well, they called. They don't want you to be here. And then the second police arrived, already have a ticket. They did not even do any investigations. They are somehow is being controlled on the spy system, because the system is always confined inside a betrayal to manage something for the NSA and China spy system. And they gave me a ticket. They told me I have to leave. And then if I come back again, I would be arrested. I could fight that ticket, but it would take so long, so much of my energy. So right now, I know Microsoft wants to have my information. Microsoft looking for me. I'm looking for Microsoft. If you ever can hear this message, please contact with Microsoft. Email to them this video, and tell them Qiu Min Ji is the zero access botnet server. He's looking for Microsoft, but Microsoft inside betrayals, what I say, has stopped her from coming to see them. I would really appreciate that. The stories I have shared are just a few examples. I will share more later. For next episode, we'll talk about the second nanobiosensor installed inside my brain and the secret system documents inside the second nanobiosensor. That is why Microsoft see zero access botnet, because the system documents is inside the human brain and to be a server. So next time also talk about the system control and why we do not have a legitimate government, how I discovered that.